And JP, it's the same grid we had yesterday.
Yeah, I got Cam Beaubier starting from pole with Bobby Fong, SDK there, rounding out the front row. Heron, Gagne, and Hayden Gillum. Hopefully Hayden can get up there today. He had a problem yesterday. Escalante, Cornbow. Bryce, I think, might have to go to the back because I saw him leave pit lane just now. JD Beach, Benjamin Smith, Ashton Yates, Danilo Lewis. And then we got Flinders, Waters, Nolan Lampkin, Dion Campbell, Giannato, and Bobby Davis. So, again, perfect morning. We had the same overcast conditions as we always seem to have here early in the morning in Monterey. And see Josh Heron getting himself set and ready to go, Greg.
And just like race number 1, 20 laps scheduled for this one. So the grid has formed up. Revs are being tested. Here we go. You can see bikes lunging into gear, and we're away racing. And it looked like our pole sitter got a decent launch, but who's going up the inside in turn number 1? It's going to be, or turn number 2, it's Bobby Fong, and there goes Heron around the outside of everybody. So just like that, Josh Heron's got the lead. Beaubier drifting really wide, trying to square up the corner. It's good to see Escalante out there trying to get some points for his championship. But Josh Heron right now is eking away 24 flat when they came by the start-finish line. Fastest lap of the race so far for Heron. That have the least amount of information from yesterday because Beaubier crashed but was able to pick it up, finish the race in 6th. So the number 69 is Hayden Gillum. Hayden Gillum, of course, we've been keeping an eye on. And so a lot of people are finding themselves having to retune their bikes for WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca. Also, to add to what Jamie was talking about with Hayden Gillum and JD Beach, there were 3 people from HRC that stuck around, electronics especially, from Japan that were there working with them, with the team on that bike.
Cameron's watched the video, he's looked at the data, he still doesn't understand why he went down. When you understand why something happened, you can fix it, but he doesn't know why it happened, so it was a little lacking confidence coming into racing.
Absolutely, Jamie, and I spoke to him as well, and he said, Jason, we looked at the data, I was 1K quicker. And I asked him straight up, I said, did you have any indication or feeling? He said, I had no clue. And when you watch it, I watched the video back last night, Greg, and you can tell as a rider when somebody's not quite comfortable, as JD Beach looks up the inside of his teammate going up over turn 1 on the pair of Hondas. But I asked Cameron, I said, when I watched it, and Hayden's going to run a little bit wide here, I said, when I watched it, I didn't get the feeling at all as he slips it back, turns it back up underneath JD.
Dirt track style.
But I asked Cameron, I said, from my point, I can always tell when a rider looks like they're in a little deep, just like Hayden just was there. And he said, yeah, I had no clue. Trying to go up underneath him, gets into turn 2 ever so slightly, but see what he's doing here, even though he's made a mistake, he can square it up, Greg, and he can get on the gas earlier, even though JD rolled up underneath him. Hayden squares that up, like you say, dirt track style, and gets back underneath him. And these 2 guys are going to come in, and JD's going to tell him everything he saw with Hayden.
Let's see what kind of lap times Heron's able to maintain. He goes through 24.8. Bobby's still in the 24.2s. So that was 6/10 of a second. And Heron's so strong on the brakes down into turn number 2. So some of that advantage that Bobby Fong was able to get, or in that same part of the track we talked about before, he's got to give it back up in that first sector.
Well, let's talk next time they go through turn 2. We'll have a little bit of a chat about what I see with those guys and some of the things I was told. You see Hayden Gillum getting it a little bit wrong going into turn 11. That's going to allow JD to sneak up underneath him. So these guys are in the 25.9s is what JD did that last time by. So you're going to see a distinct difference in lines between these 2 guys, and especially the beginning part of the lap. So turn 2 specifically, even going into 5, and then as they get close, like see how much closer Bobby is this time. If he had been this close yesterday on the last lap, that move that he tried to make in turn 11 probably would have been successful. So we'll see how that changes. But as they come down the hill, we talked yesterday about the line difference in turn number 10. That's where they're coming into right now. Heron lets it out. You can see Bobby gets in there a little bit earlier, lets off the lever. And when you look at these 2 right now and what they're doing, Bobby's going to take a shot, no question, this race. The one thing is Heron always fights back immediately. And you got to think, too, when you sit there and you think, well, why doesn't Heron ride it like the Yamaha? He goes really wide this time. Is he going to be able to make it? Not quite. A little bit closer there, and Bobby would have been able to get through. But the thing you got to remember, Greg, is that Heron's learned to ride this bike the way it needs to be ridden. He might not be able to do the things that Bobby can do on the Yamaha that the Ducati is making. He's taking full advantage of the strong points. You think about how long, here he goes, Greg. He's making that shot right now down into turn 11. Let's see if Herron squares that Ducati up and tries to go back by him down the front straightaway. It looks like he's up alongside. Is he going to be able to out-drag him to turn 1? Bobby's got a spot. Yeah, Bobby's got the position, Greg.
So here we go down into turn number 2. And if Bobby's got a little bit extra in the tank right now.
And the other thing I'm paying attention to also, Greg, they're only 1.7 ahead of Cam Beaubier now. So Beaubier is actually closing in on these two as well. So, but for Bobby, look at this gap.
Keep in mind, this is our first race today, second Superbike race of the weekend, and we have one more to go. So this is really important for the Vision Wheel M4X Star Suzuki crew to get all this information for SDK. Even though it's going to be a couple of short hours to make adjustments to the bike, they'll definitely want to make it.
Yeah, doing a good job. Both these guys are. And for Gagne, he's missing a little bit of something, I think, under braking for him that he's not quite confident with. And in speaking with him, it's a setup that they've gone to that he's still kind of struggling to get his head around certain things, and he knows that the team are working hard, and as is he. So these guys are going back and forth back there in 6th spot. You see him just out of our shot there, but he's probably going to fall a little bit short, and you see Gagne's bike moving around an awful lot for him.
Yeah, under hard braking, and that caused that little bit of gap too as they run up to turn number 6. I'll tell you what, the GSXR 1000 is looking really good and stable for Sean Dillon Kelly.
Herron runs 24.6, no, 1.5 seconds again, 24.3 again for Bobby Fong. So he's very comfortable in this lap, and you know, credit to him. It was very early on. It looked like Herron was going to try to push the pace, get away, get out front, and split. And Bobby Fong just stayed with the times he was doing. Felt confident and comfortable that maybe the race would come back to him, and it has. And he's about a half a lap away here right now, Greg. Even though you see that 1.5 seconds on your board, you always want to have a little look over your shoulder to see what that feels like, and that's what he did coming out of turn 5. Kind of feel like with Bobby, once he gets to the top of the corkscrew, he kind of feels like he can bring it home because he knows he's really good down there.
Turn number 6. Now we got 7 through 11 for the California native from Stockton, Bobby Fong, right here in the Northern California area. He's got tons of people here, friends and family alike cheering him on, as does Josh Herron and Cameron Beaubier. But wow, Jay, this is quite the impressive feat from Bobby Fong.
Love seeing it.
When those opportunities come, you got to grasp them. And this will be his first win of the 2025 season. Onto the front straightaway we go. Attack Performance Progressive Yamaha walks away with a race 2 win here at WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca for Bobby Fong. Josh Herron in 2nd place. Cameron Beaubier to the line, safely in 3rd.
Look at Escalante. He really closed on these guys. That's going to give Richie a lot of confidence for this afternoon. So STK, a nice fight in 4th. Gagne and Escalante. And then this battle, oh man. Hayden had got by, and then kind of the same thing we saw him do before.
So what a performance he's having so far in front of his friends and family. In terms of the points, he's probably just ahead of Jake Gagne now, his teammate from Attack Performance Yamaha.
No, he's happy to be on the podium, but he wants to be in that fight, so he's going to be a little disappointed with that. And now Beaubier needs to start beating Josh if he can, and not let Josh get too many points on him. And he's going to come out swinging in race 3.
How tough will it be for the riders to race a 3rd race today? 20 laps for the Superbike. How much will that take a toll on their bodies?
Yeah, it's going to take a lot, especially Josh Herron, you know, having that crash on Friday and then doing a Superbike race, the toll that takes on your body for being sore and the dehydration. And they come out and do it this morning, and then now has to go out this afternoon and do it as well. That one thing that helps a lot in this sport is adrenaline. When those lights go out, when you're struggling, when you're sore, it really helps that.
Yes, all the festivities as well, I think, when you're on that starting grid and you've got the national anthem and everything going on around you, and such a great crowd here with the beautiful conditions at Laguna Seca, that's got to rile you up for sure as well.